Welcome in, college football fans, to another edition of the Fanatic Sports Top 25, man. So listen, this is number 4. This is number 4. So the College Football Playoff Committee came out last night. You know, we had some shakeup in the top 25. We'll talk about it tonight, man. So let's go ahead and jump into it.
No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The Fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. Fanatic. The Fanatic, where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call.
That's right, man. We're back in here for our college football rankings from Fanatic Sports, man. Number 4, Stat Guy. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? Good to be back on.
That's right, man. We're going to jump into this thing, man. Talk about the shakeup in our poll, how it compares to the CFP poll, and things of that nature, man. And we got our weekly special guest, Jason from College Hall of Fame College Football, to come in after we revealed the rankings, man. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. Let me go ahead and get these rankings up, and we can get this thing going. All right, right there. Let's kill that. And let's add that in. All right. Ready, Stat Guy?
Yeah, man. Hit me with it.
All right. Here we go. You know how we do on the Fanatic Sports, baby. We show the G5 some love, man. Hey, they losing games. Hey, you get moved to the back of the bus, so you losing games. But hey, Air Force was undefeated, you know, for the first couple of weeks of the rankings, but now they're here at 23 after getting shellacked by Army. By the way, Stat Guy, you keep up with it, man. Who won the Commanders Cup?
Man, I'm guessing Army. Oh, we won't know until the Army Navy. Yeah, so if Army wins, then they win it outright. If they lose, it's a 3-way tie. And then if it's a 3-way tie, it just stays with the person that won it the year prior.
Yeah, I got you. Shout out to Mike Wilkinson, man. Hey, man, we glad you in the house, dog. And my guy, Priest say Stat Guy, the real dude, man. Priest always up in the building, man. Hey, man, what's going on, Steve B? Hey, Mike say he wiped his feet on both channels, man. That's what I'm talking about, Mike, showing love, man. Army's gonna win. Oh, you say Army gonna beat Navy? Now Air Force beat Navy, and Army beat Air Force. So it's like a round robin. And if it is a round robin, then whoever has it stays with, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes down. But okay. I tell you one thing though, I mean, you look now, that Fresno State Air Force Mountain West Championship could become a huge game now with both of them kind of neck and neck in the same spot.
Big facts, man. Let's get on to 16-20. All right, man. You got Utah coming back up in there. They beat the ever-living daylights out of Arizona State last week. Their quarterback, Barnes, threw for 4 TDs, which is unheard of. They held them to 83 yards total offense. That is crazy, dog. Georgia beat a good Missouri team. They fell a couple of spots. I think the CFP got them at 14. They was at 14 last week for me, so they fall a little bit. North Carolina beating up on Campbell. Maybe they can get back in this thing, Jeff.
Hey, that's what I would call my eye was North Carolina slipping at 18. I was like, have they righted the ship and they're not going to let it be 2 years in a row? They still need some help because they don't play Louisville, but they're not out of it yet.
That's right, man. What's going on, Benjamin, man? Appreciate you getting in here, man. Just going through the top 25. All right, you got Oregon State at the top of this group right here. My guy, Robbie Martin, what's going on, my man? Appreciate you getting in, man. All right, let's move on to 11 through 15. All right, listen, man. Oklahoma took one on the chin in the last Bedlam, man. But listen, they were number 6 for me even after the Kansas loss. I know a lot of people was coming in like, hey, they too high after the Kansas loss and all that, but they still had the best win. That same win is keeping them in that top 15. You know, I get it. They lost to Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma State climbs this week, Stat Guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look at Oklahoma State and Kansas jumping them because of the head-to-head win. Hey, give it up for Liberty, still standing strong, trying to hold into the top 15. And Ole Miss might have their hands full this weekend.
Hey, the Dogs and Ole Miss both on both sides, man. He said they done. Hey man, it be like that sometimes. Say Alabama should be here, but hey. Listen, man. All right, let's get into the top 10, man. So for a while we had Air Force and JMU in the top 10. James Madison, that is. Air Force lost the game, and the reason why I kept James Madison in the top 10, they were undefeated, and they were appealing the 2-year ban or whatever it's called, probation period from the NCAA to try to play in a bowl game. But the NCAA came down yesterday and said, nope, it don't matter how good you are, you're still not playing. So JMU has been removed from the rankings. I was holding out hope for him, stat guy, but the NCAA said, nah, dog, can't do it. So it's a new top 10. You got Louisville, Oregon, Penn State, Alabama. Who you more impressed with is out of these one-loss top 10 teams?
Man, out of this group right here, it's probably Oregon. And I mean, Alabama did look good against LSU. They finally realized that Jalen Milroe is a big running back and just let him tote that thing. But Oregon's been really impressive down the stretch with what they've been doing to those Pac-12 teams.
All right, man. Let's welcome into the building, man. Jason, right before we get into our top 6. What's going on, Jason, man? What you think about the 7 through 25 so far?
Look pretty good. I think it's about right. Now,
last week, a lot of the OU fans said I had OU too high after losing to Kansas. Do I have y'all too high after the 2 losses now? I mean, I still got y'all in the top 15, man.
Nah, I think they're still one of the top 15 so teams in the country. They hadn't been playing like it the last couple of weeks, but I think if they can kind of get themselves back on track, we'll see kind of how it goes,
Yeah. Shawty say Louisville is the most surprising. They are, Shawty. The fact that they've only lost 1 game, man, that was the 1 game at Notre Dame. One thing I can tell you is if you play Louisville in Louisville, it's an L for you all automatically. They play awesome at home, and they've beaten some people. They've beaten some people on the road. So we're going to see if they can hold on, man, because if so, they might match up with Florida State, and that'll be an interesting ACC championship, man. So let's get into this top 10, man. Top 6. You think they can beat FSU?
I do.
Hey, I think they got a good team,
Coach
man.
Rahm is a better coach than
Norvell
down there in Norvell. Yeah.
I definitely, he's a Louisville own, you know what I'm saying? So he got that passion for his school, and something about coaches that can really coach, you know what I'm saying, that coach at their own school is just like an extra pride thing. So Priest says, my UJ stickers are still intact in Louisville after all these years. I planted 100 or more the year we beat them. Yeah, man, my nephew was on that team, Priest. He was a true freshman. I actually got the bowl ring. He gave it to me because it's got the score on it. He was like, y'all won the game, so you might as well keep the ring. So it's something I don every now and then. So
there you go.
Hey, man, yeah, let's get into this top 6, man. Coming in number 6, man, it's Texas. The CFP has Oregon right here at number 6. And if you're asking me, Texas and both Alabama have better wins than Oregon. And if I'm going by that logic, Texas beat Alabama. So I think, stat guy, what you think about Texas at number 6 right here instead of the Oregon back at number, I think it is 8 or 9?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it because either Oregon wins out and gets a couple more impressive wins and they're able to jump in there and try to find themselves hunting. And if not, then Texas can stay right there until we see what goes down in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, and Mike Wilkerson said maybe they don't. Hey, they could be upset by Iowa State, which is true. I mean, Kansas State, listen, if there's a couple of different, ball bounce a different way or different play calls at the end of that Kansas State game, man, we don't know, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they survive in advance, man, survive in advance. So he says, stat guy, the Oklahoma hater.
Hey, not until next year when we out there in Norman.
Bishop Frank, what's going on? Glad you can join us tonight. So yeah, man. So coming in at number 5, we got Michigan. Of the 5 undefeated teams, man, I feel like for sure they don't have. They're the ones without any signature wins. They had the easiest schedule of the top 5. I mean, they shout out to Michigan for beating everybody's brains in, but I mean, we'll see a little bit more about them, Jason, this weekend. What you thinking about that Michigan-Penn State matchup?
I think they win. They'll get their signature win this weekend, but I don't know how much of a signature win it is over them. But I feel like it's one of those deals that the Big Ten's so bad, and they just don't play anybody. So I don't know, man. It's hard with the Big Ten right now. You've got those 3 teams that are pretty good, and then the rest. But I do think that Michigan's probably one of the better teams in the country. I mean, they've been in the playoff 2 years in a row. They are beating everybody to death. So I think it'll work itself out if they get through this one, and then they ended up beating Ohio State again. I mean, or it's a good game. You could end up seeing kind of what we saw last year. I think just because of the fact that there's I don't know though. I think it's probably just going to be one, don't you? This year.
Listen, I think right now, as if what I'm thinking it's only going to be one, because it's it's still a good chance these a couple of these teams go undefeated, man. And right. Like you say, if they let's say they have a round robin, right? Penn State beats Michigan, Michigan beats Ohio State. Now Texas is or whoever, I guess if Oregon comes back and beats Washington, or Louisville beats Florida State, Alabama, upsets Georgia, it can get crazy out here. And that's what Stat Guy likes. Stat Guy likes chaos in the college football playoffs.
Hey man, it should be chaos. That's what we're looking for. That's why they're going to the 12-team playoff, So it's just to kind of drive that home. That's why.
I will tell you one thing, Coach, with Michigan being number 5, this is a perfect reminder that the Big Ten hates college football, scheduling Michigan at Penn State as the big noon kickoff instead of giving us 7:30 or 8 p.m.
I know they want to try to tell us about the weather and all of that. We don't want to hear that, man. Play at night. Mike Wilkinson, like Jason said, man, it's the last day. Michigan, Ohio State is always Saturday after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. So, hey, man, if y'all in the building, man, listen, y'all go ahead and hit that like button for your boy, man. If you're on Jason's stream, hit that like button, wipe your feet, man. Show a little love, man. It's free to do, and it helps the channel out, helps get out to more people, man. So coming in at number 4 is Florida State. Last week, Florida State was 3. And I'll go ahead and post 3, and that's Georgia. Georgia had a good win. You know what I'm saying? Over a really good Missouri team, which is actually not a large underdog to Tennessee this weekend, and I think they got a chance to maybe beat Tennessee. Shawty say shout out to the whole panel, hit the whole like button. That's right, man. We getting y'all. We the opening act for Wednesday night, man, just to get y'all ready so y'all can go over to Shawty show at 9:30 after we done, man. Let's see. Priest, man, I wish we had a 3:30 get me home early. Hey, man, no, Priest, like last home game senior night, man. Hey, man, we got to do it under the red lights in Athens, man. Like we got 3:30 at Tennessee. Hey, let's be happy we not playing them at night.
You gonna be over there this weekend, Coach?
I thought about it because they got some basketball games that sandwiched and they were selling them. We played Wake Forest Friday night at basketball. I thought about taking my son up there, but I told my wife I was going to get on the grill, so I can't renege. So I'll be on the grill, man. It's a good day for college football, to be honest with you.
House.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good day for college football, man, and I'll be here at the crib, man. The Dogs coming in at 3 after. Like I say, man, we played pretty good, man, over a really good Missouri team. Missouri brought that defense on the road. You know what I'm saying? They blitzed us a lot, man. So doggy treat for
Norman.
Yeah, for Norman on your channel, man, 11-11, man. So my boy B. Shaw say, hey, wait to sneak the Dogs in. Hey, man, listen. When I first dropped my first top 25, the Dogs was 6. Each week they climbing. The more wins you get, the better wins you get. This week they got a chance to do that again. Saturday when they play Ole Miss, that's another top 20, top 15 team. If Missouri wins or Georgia wins or both, the Dogs clinch the East, man. So we're gonna see what that do, man. And of course, the top 2 is Washington and Ohio State sitting atop. Mars is sticking to it, man. Mars said the Dogs need to be number 2. Hey, all in due time. I think we handle business. I think the consensus for the most part is that Michigan's going to beat Ohio State. I mean, what you think about that, Jason? Because they got to play each other. So
yeah, I think that right now they own them. So it's they beat them in their house last year. They're going to be in the big house this year. So I think it's a tough way to. I think a lot of people think that it might be one of those deals where, and I think Mike just said it a few minutes ago, that with all the with all the drama that Michigan might trip up. I don't think that Jim Harbaugh could care less about what is going on and all that. I don't think the dude, it just doesn't even register with him. So
I think you might be right.
His team is kind of, they kind of took on his attitude about that, and they're beating everybody up. So I don't know that we hadn't seen them get shaky yet, So to me, I think the one equalizer would be that Ohio State's pretty good on defense this year. I still don't think they're built to with this quarterback. I'm gonna stick with the Wolverines. I think they win it.
What about you, Stat Guy? What you thinking? You think the Wolverines can make a three-peat and put Ryan Day on the hot seat?
Yeah, no, I think Michigan wins. But the thing to remember, though, it's not like, while this game is important, it's not like they're following it up with a top 10 matchup in their conference championship game. Because they still have divisions in the Big Ten, they're going to get a 3 or 4 loss team from the other side. And so it's like, yeah, you have this game, but then you don't really have to obviously you have to show up. Anybody can beat anybody, but the fact they can win this game and then roll into the conference championship week and not be on pins and needles about losing their playoff spot, all they have to do is beat Ohio State.
That's right, man. B. Shaw said it's about the rankings at the end of the year. That's right. And, but what the playoff committee, and we'll talk about their rankings here in a minute. Hey, listen, man, Mars Jam been calling all the dogs win. He said the dogs about to make Ole Miss cry. Ole Miss hasn't been good on the road, and I'm hoping that trend continues, man. So
until Lane wins a big game, then he ain't won a big game.
That's true. That's true.
Come on, man.
Hey, Mike said, Jason, for a while he's like Ray Charles when he's picking the games.
Hey, we all kind of go through those little stretches. That's Stat Guy.
Hey, all I remember is last weekend being 1-0. That's all I know about. Short-term memory, baby. Short-term memory.
There you go.
So let me ask y'all, and of course in my poll, and we'll go through that again. I don't have the 3-loss LSU, the 3-loss Notre Dame, the 3-loss Arizona, but they are in the CFP poll. Jason Height, what you think about those teams?
Yeah, I think Arizona's probably I don't know if they really belong in the CFP poll necessarily. I think they're probably a little better than like Air Force and some of those guys. I mean, but again, I think all that stuff kind of works itself out towards the end of the season as you see it kind of run through there. Fire Jeff Levy. Here we go. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate the super chat either way. But and then Notre Dame, I mean, and Coach will tell you this, you just don't know what you're getting from those cats. Sometimes they look really good, sometimes they look awful. So it kind of is what it is. And I think with the offensively, they're so unimaginative, but they're super physical. I think they'd give a lot of teams a lot of problems. I mean, they're probably going to beat most of the lower half of that top 25 or whatever. But that being said, they haven't won the games that they're supposed to win all the time either. I mean, they just got done losing a game they shouldn't have lost again. You know what I mean? So it's it kind of is what it is. But look, it is what it is. With the I don't have a problem. I actually like the way that it's set up and it's working, and I think it's going to work itself out.
Big facts. Shout out to Charles Crow Flies High, says fire Jeff Levy. Listen, man, OU fans are big on firing Jeff Levy. He gave you a $2 super chat. So appreciate you supporting appreciate you supporting the show. My guy E-Rob gets in and said, I love the dogs are not number one. We need that outside motivation. Listen, you need all the motivation you can get, man, when you just keep winning and things of that nature. Because again, these are 18 to 22-year-old kids, man. And it's hard to keep these guys, they're fired up. He says Notre Dame is fool's gold. I'm with you, and I think Coach is with you, Notre Dame fan too, man. I think he believes the same thing. Charles gets in again, say, you will win the Big 12. Hey, man, you saying Texas is gonna take another loss, and then Kansas and Oklahoma State are gonna take another loss. Hey, man,
I don't think it takes all of that. I think if
Texas has to take a loss.
For sure.
And then one of Kansas or Oklahoma State has to take another. Well, actually, you want Kansas to take the other loss because
you got to have Texas and Kansas lose for OU.
Texas and Kansas to lose. Yeah, for sure. Now, what I said,
I can see that happening because I think Kansas is probably going to get beat by K-State. Right?
Okay. I can see that.
And I'll tell you the truth. I think Texas, even though I think TCU is bad, TCU has their number for some reason, and it's in Fort Worth. They may be getting their quarterback back this weekend. So I mean, they've struggled in this game traditionally. I mean, I don't think they've won it in a while. They're better. They should win. But look, if K-State hadn't missed a freaking extra point last week, they lose.
That's true. Stat guy. It could actually happen, you know, if you're looking at the games, man. Like I say, not Oklahoma State, even though they could lose, but they need to lose twice because one of their losses is South Alabama. But so the more plausible situation is Texas loses and Kansas loses. What you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. You know, we look at even the Texas, don't they finish the year with Texas Tech? And I mean, the commissioner's going to be there. Maybe he's got the voodoo on them as well. But
the Iowa State game probably be the toughest one at nighttime there in Ames, though, for, you know, just being real.
I mean, there's a path to it. I just think it's too much to do. And I mean, they still have to show up week in and week out and take care of business as well.
Absolutely.
And not let the last 2 weeks beat them a third week. That's the bigger thing. Let's see what happens this week. Can they bounce back, get up on the horse, and get back rolling? And then you can talk about other people losing and setting yourself up.
I mean, to be honest, if you look at the schedules, man, in the Big 12, man, these last 3 weeks is a lot of football left. Like, I mean, Kansas, you know, Kansas still has to play Texas Tech, Kansas State, and at Cincinnati. I'm not saying
Oklahoma's got to go to BYU still. You know,
that's what I'm saying. So it's a lot of football left to be played in the Big 12, man. So I think definitely. But like, you know, we talked about Notre Dame a little bit having the 3 losses. LSU is in the playoff committee. LSU is number 19. This is what I say. I'm not saying that LSU is in the top 25 team, but you know, they preach resume and all that stuff. Sometimes I think the side of the helmet helps you out too. The side of the helmet helps you out too. Because if you think about it, LSU, you know, they lost to Bama. LSU lost to Ole Miss, and LSU lost to Florida State. Their biggest win is Arkansas, you know what I'm saying, Mississippi State, something like that. And I get they got a good offense, but if you put Vandy in that same spot with 3 losses, same exact schedule, same exact results, Vandy is not in the top 25. I'm sorry, they just not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so much inconsistency when you talk about the college football playoffs. So we'll see how it goes, you know.
But that's why these preseason rankings are so horrible. When you have rankings coming out before week 0, it sets the tone. If, say, South Carolina's not ranked and we beat an FCS opponent, Georgia's ranked number 1, y'all beat an FCS opponent, y'all are still number 1, and we haven't moved the needle.
Yep.
And it's like, to me, it just doesn't wait until week 6 or 7, let people build up resumes. And then go off of that.
Yeah, because like, you know, the 2 things they really count in strength of schedule, quote unquote, is how good your opponents are, you know, their record, but also where they were ranked. And those rankings are based off of preseason flawed ideology anyway. So you're saying strength of schedule. I'm like, okay, so based on the schedule that y'all said people were going to be good, we said LSU was going to be good. If LSU was as good as we said they were like preseason number 7. Then they wouldn't lose 3 games. I'm just saying that's just real logic right there.
And they weren't even in that game after halftime. That game was out of whack immediately.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Alabama controlled that whole second half, even before, I know Daniels went down. Hopefully he's back, you know, and they had a lethal offense, but all season they haven't really been able to stop anybody. So it's like
anybody, they got their main player on defense doing the wrong stuff, you know. It's just crazy, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Charles, another $2, man. Hey, man, we appreciate you tuning in, man. But I was telling Stat, you know, we was talking today, and I was like, you know, but if you're undefeated and you're a Power 5, it doesn't matter what your helmet says. You're gonna be at, like, if Vandy for some reason instead of Georgia was undefeated, they would be in the top 5 because they've ran an SEC schedule undefeated. They would be there, but you know,
the difference is you're playing in the SEC. You know what I mean? That's the difference. You're acting like that wouldn't be anything just because of Vandy.
No, but
if they're undefeated in the SEC, then that means they're doing something.
But if Vandy had LSU's results, when you start losing, then they start looking at the side of the helmet. That's what I'm saying. If Vandy was in LSU's position, they wouldn't be in the top 25.
Oh no,
Stat, you was gonna say something.
No, I would. You good? Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, man. So this weekend, man, is again the Big 12. If no other conference, I mean, listen, it's still a lot of games to play in the SEC. We got to play Ole Miss this weekend. Missouri has to play Tennessee. Tennessee's still looking for an outside shot on the for a way to get to the conference title. I think Bama has Kentucky and Auburn left. With a cupcake in between. I think they pretty much got the West sold up. If they beat, matter of fact. If they
you guys
beat,
win, they sure have it, right?
Yeah, if we win, they got it. Us and them basically got it sold up. If now if they win and we should lose, they have it sold up because they would only have a chance to lose one after this weekend after beating Kentucky, and that would be head to head over Ole Miss. So
right.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, it could be closeout Saturday for the SEC. The Big 12 again, Pac-12 got a lot of football still to play.
It does.
I think now
we only have a couple that are probably going to get in the CFP or whatever, or with a chance in the CFP. Yeah. But as far as like getting in that conference championship game, I mean, theoretically, USC could mess up some stuff for people, but I don't really see that happening either.
Yeah. Number 15. I'll put it back up. Let me put this up. Hold on. I'll put y'all are number 15 right there behind Oklahoma State, and Kansas right in front of Oregon State. Oregon State, again, like numerically, a lot of these Pac-12 teams are still in it for the conference championship, Jeff. Right now, Oregon seems to be, for the eye test, like they say, playing the best ball. But at the end of the day, their best win, they got two good wins. I guess one over Utah at Utah, but we all know the situation there. Utah has a great defense, great trenches, but Cam Rising's not there, so they hadn't had a great offense. And then, I mean, I have to say, like Colorado or something, or Arizona State, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we say they're one of the, they can beat Washington, but they didn't.
But they got some bangers down the stretch.
Yeah. So this weekend, USC is at Oregon. I think they're gonna drill the Trojans. Utah at Washington. I think Utah has a good defense, but not enough offense to hang with Washington. Arizona has made it into the CFP's top 25, and they're at Colorado. Man, listen, Colorado needs 2 of these games at the end, dog, to make it. And they play. I know they play Utah.
Apart, man. They've just kind of fallen apart.
Yeah, they play Arizona this week at home. They go to Washington State, and then they go to Utah. You see them winning 2 of those games, Jason. I mean, that you're trying to get bowl eligible, man.
No, I don't, man. He's already pulled the plug on Sean Lewis, which I think was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. That was the one thing you had kind of going for you was that offense. And they go out the week they do that, of course, they go out and score 5 points. I don't know what it was. It was such a big deal with the play calling. You're still running the same thing. They're still running the same offense, but the play calling was clearly not better, or maybe they changed up some plays. I don't know, but I'll tell you, I think it was a mistake. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction by Dion. I think he needed to stick with it, and because listen, Sean Lewis is one of the best in the business. I can think of a lot of schools right now that would love to have him as their offensive coordinator.
For sure,
love to have him as a head coach.
Listen, man, I thought about him. Like, I get the O-line is what he, brought out as the problem. It is one of the problems. It's not just the only problem, but I'm like, how does changing the play caller fix the O-line when the second play caller isn't gonna, y'all haven't been keeping anybody in for max protect. Like, no plays do they ever max protect. Like, 2 receivers in the route. He's
been getting hit all freaking year, man.
It's like you don't always have to have 3 receivers in the route.
Man, the dude, if they were winning, he'd be in the thick of the Heisman race.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So,
I'll be honest with you, Coach. It ain't looking good.
You don't think they're gonna get bowl eligible?
I don't think they're gonna win another football game.
I don't think you can. I mean, what do they got left?
Arizona, like I said, Arizona, Washington State, and Utah.
I think they can beat Washington State. They've fallen off a little bit, but
they're not going to Poem and picking up the win.
Is it important?
Not going.
Yes,
they're not going out there.
So their last home game, senior night, is this weekend against Arizona, and we've seen how. So I think if they're gonna get a win, it has to be Arizona because you got to go to Pullman and go to Rice Eccles.
They're not winning either of those games for sure.
But I'll be honest with you. Arizona might be one of the hottest teams in college football right now.
They got one of the best coaches in college football. Yep.
Yeah.
They get after it on defense.
My guy E-Rob say no bowl for the Buffs this year. Listen, not for nothing. I'll go ahead and restate it because we said it on Jason's show, man. Me and Shawty had a bet at the beginning of the season. Listen, I'll be honest. After week 3, I thought they was going to clear the bet. And the bet was the number was 4. If they won more than 4, I got to buy Shawty a bottle of tequila. If they don't, he got to buy me a bottle. And I'm going to tell you, week 3, I was like, this is about to be over, like, in 2 weeks or so. Now it's like, can they get that 5th win? And I don't know. We're going to see.
You know what's crazy? We did their preview, me and you, back in July. I had them at like 3.5, and you had them at the 4-win mark. And I mean, we knew this schedule was brutal. And this is what we thought was going to happen. You start losing football games, and then there's no break. There's no like, oh, can we pick up a win this week to get back on track? It just keeps snowballing downhill.
That Pac-12 is rough.
Win 5-6, and then there was times that I thought that they could go through and win 6 or 7 or 8. But the more you saw where their defense just came apart, and then you start getting injuries. Their depth is just bad, and I don't think that this. It's like I said, it's a 400% improvement. I just put that in the chat. In the end, they're gonna. I mean, right now they're looking at trying to get some of these 5-star offensive linemen. They're going to get big in the trenches. This isn't over yet in Colorado, and
no. But you know how it is. Once they won those first couple of weeks,
national championship. So I mean,
once they beat TCU, then they beat Nebraska. To beat Colorado State. How we talked about it with OU fans and others change expectation, move goalposts because of the winning, and we all forget what we kind of said before anybody took a step onto the gridiron. So you got to remember, like you said,
not the problem though. That's never been. They've been putting up points all season, man. I mean,
even with a bad old line, they've been putting up points. So that's why I'm like, why do you demote the play caller? I really didn't understand that, but again, Deion, hey, he's played and know a lot of football, so he must, he has a plan at the end of the day, man. So with that said, man, listen, man, Alabama's been one of the hottest one-loss teams out there, but you got, Texas, Penn State, Oregon, Louisville, Ole Miss. Who's the best one-loss team, Stat Guy?
Give me Oregon.
Oregon on a neutral field over all of the rest.
Give me Oregon. Give me. We're Bo Nix believers out this way.
Yeah, I like. Oh man, It's either Oregon or Bama right now. I think Bama has turned it. They've turned the corner.
Okay, Priest. I got a friend, Jay Martin, quick analyst on West Virginia. Listen, what I do know about West Virginia is they got a good running back, C.J. Donaldson. They actually surprised. I'm pretty sure. I think they were picked to finish last in the Big 12, to be honest with you, and they've exceeded expectations. Hey, Priest,
they're talking about that.
Yeah, Priest. Hey, if you can, man, tell Jamie to go check out our guy Couz's Corner. Couz's Corner. He lives in West Virginia or right outside of it. He's a West Virginia alum. He knows in and out all about West Virginia. Dude's got a huge following. We've both been on this channel, did some stuff with him. I think Virginia's outplayed what people thought they were going to be, including me. I didn't think they were going to be that good. Even some of their local, like 247 writers or whatever. I watched Bud Elliott's, summer school, and even their guy didn't think they were going to do as good as they're doing. So I think they've made some improvement. Stacy, my guy Derico, man, say the best one-loss team is Bama. Hard to say that. Mike says Bama. Mara says Bama. Kim said, "What's up, Kim?" Said, "Hate to say it, Bama."
Man, look at all these SEC homers in the chat.
That's right, Jamie. Donaldson is a beast, man, and they were picked. That's right, man.
The quarterback of Oregon, bro. That's why.
That's right, man. But yeah, Jamie, if you can, man, if you get a chance, man, Couz, spelled C-O-U-Z, Couz's Corner. Hey, man, that dude talks everything West Virginia, man. And he talks a lot of the off-field stuff too about conference realignment and what's happening with West Virginia and things of that nature, man. So yeah, definitely check out Couz's Corner, man. I can't listen, man. Jalen Milroe, it seems like Tommy Reese and Jalen Milroe have come to an agreement about running this what me and Shawty like to say triple option in a different format. That's really what it is. You send somebody listen, they in a pistol format, you send somebody in motion. That's the other guy you can, what I'm saying? You got somebody coming for the dive, you got a pitch man, and you got a quarterback keeping. It's just a different formation. That's all really, that's what it is.
They ran through LSU like they were nothing in that second half the other night, man.
Big facts.
When Milroe trucked the safety, man, that
bro, it was a poor dude, bro. He's never gonna live that one down. Never gonna live
That's right. That's right, man. So there you have it, man. We'll go through the top 10 real quick again. You got Ohio State, Washington, Georgia, FSU, Michigan, Texas, Bama, Penn State, Oregon, Louisville. Then you got Ole Miss, the last one-loss team, rounding out their top 11. Liberty hanging tough. The only undefeated G5 that matters. James Madison, again, is no longer in the top 25 because the NCAA did rule on behalf of their probation period that they have to sit that out. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't. Then you got Oklahoma State, the big win in Bedlam, Kansas, Oklahoma, Oregon State, Iowa, North Carolina, Missouri, Utah, and Tennessee, Fresno State, Air Force, Tulane, and Toledo. Stat guy, man, what you got on just said some closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Man, the closing thought, I actually came with a question for you tonight. Since College Game Day is in Athens, give me your College Game Day sign for the weekend.
College Game Day sign.
You got any zingers?
Nah, man, to be honest with you, man, we talk with our helmets, man. We talk with our helmets. That's just what it is, dog. So I ain't got nothing. You normally had the zingers for a College Game Day sign, so I don't know.
Well, I'll just let you know I got some, but they are some off-camera material. But I'll definitely.
I gotta hear this. I'll send
it for you
after it's over with.
Yeah.
Big facts. Jason, man, closing thoughts before we get up out of here, man.
Hey, man, it's a big weekend for Oklahoma, for sure. You got to go out there.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that you get this win. You got to win out, really. You still have an opportunity. I was on Couz's show today, and he actually we did a recording for mine too. Listen, man, it's I think that the main thing I've been saying this the last couple of weeks. Oklahoma needs to step on the gas immediately. You don't want to get into a game where you because they got an offensive line that has a lot of experience, a lot of big boys on it, and they're really good at slowing down the tempo. You don't want to allow them to get into that. And Garrett Green, man, that guy he's a gamer, man. He's not the greatest passer. He's got a big arm, but he's about a 50% guy. The thing is, if you let them hang around, they're the type of team that's going to beat you. So they need to take care of business early and get that done. Get ready for BYU next week. But I want to think that they got an opportunity to get to the conference championship game. But if they don't win this week, then they just need to go ahead and play Jackson Arnold, I think, after that.
Well, man, you're right. It's a big weekend for the Sooners, for one, because of the mindset. How can you come off even when you lost the one to Kansas, even that, I think somewhat affected you, kind of, what I'm saying? Because, you had the undefeated and then you lost one, but then you played, you found a way to stick it out and play a tough game in Bedlam. But now you got two losses, like maybe the conference championship may not be in reach. It's like that mindset. You want to see that them come out and fight and pick up this win.
Yeah.
So that you don't, like North Carolina had that go on last year. They were undefeated, took a loss, and then lost 4 straight. And then they played good in the bowl game.
That's the next step that you take with a new program. When you got a new program, it's his program. It's that, you guys were talking about before, you go in steps. The first year you're going to do what you do. That second year, Charlie talks about it, you have a big jump. But, it's when you level off, then what do you do? Because those improvements from there on are, they're small. So, it's to be able to try to kind of get in there and make your changes to the and look, it's the culture. Culture is an everyday thing, not a game by game thing anyway. So it's one of them things that you got to kind of get that together. They still got steps to take, you know.
That's right, man. Hey, before we get out of here, Mars, man. Hey, man, give me your score, man. I haven't. Hey, man, each week I hold on to the score, man. So because you've been on, even if the score ain't right, you've been on top of it, man. And Priest and Jamie, I put the link to Kuz's Corner in the chat for Facebook and YouTube. I mean, as far as the link is a YouTube link, but I put it on Facebook and I put it on YouTube, man. Y'all definitely, I think he does a video like every day, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty
man.
much. So, he's always got stuff out there. So you got, if you, I'm surprised that the guy didn't already know him. So it's Kuz is great. I'm actually, I don't know when he's releasing that one, but I've got one on my channel coming out. We'll have it out there probably tomorrow's Thursday. So yeah, probably tomorrow.
Okay. Mars says if players go to the draft, don't get drafted, should they be allowed to come back? Nope. From the player's perspective, I can see why we would think that, but this is the problem with that. You got recruiting, the last recruiting thing, comes up, signing day comes up in February. You got the early one in December, and then you got the last one in February. The hardest thing for college coaches is to know the number. While you can sign as many players as you want now in the class, you still got to know the roster number, because you still only get 85 scholarships. So that would be a lot on the coaches, because you don't have to turn in your NFL form until end of January or something like that, and whether or not you're going. So hey, man, my guy Mars got in and said 55-17. Let's hold on to it. All right, man, that'll do it for us today, man. We appreciate Jason stopping by, giving us his opinion, and hey, we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. for the number 5. We're about to wrap the season up, man, with these college rankings. Don't forget to check out Jason at the Hall of Fame College Football tomorrow night. Matter of fact, what time you going on, Jason?
It'll be 9:30 Eastern. 9:30 Eastern.
All right. Make sure you get out there 9:30 Eastern. He always takes a segment to review the top 25 as well as other topics, and then of course he'll be back with me and Stat Guy and probably Shawty on the Saturday night snap count at 10:30 on Saturday, man. We appreciate all y'all, man. For Stat Guy, this is Coach I, the Fan Addict, and we're out of here.